Hello there, and officially welcome to the day of the finals of the qualification tournament 2 for Master League, blah, 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 blah. I'm here with Findy today, as you already heard. And how are you feeling, Finn? Are you excited for this?
I am excited. The Loveness Jibber Jabber Jobber game should be really fun. Jibber Jabber Jobber's known for his odd builds and an adventurous playstyle, so against the stalwart and steady Loveness, it should be some pretty fun matches.
That's probably a very good way to describe him. Stalwart, steady, and possibly superior. We'll have to wait and see. I've sent you an invite. We're going to start looking for it now. I'm sure there's somebody watching it. Should help me find it. Viewers. Actually, no. There's no viewers except for us. Here we go. I have found it, though, which is always a good start. Let's get this.
Yeah, we won't be able to watch the game.
Yes! I've heard that's a vital component of watching games. All right, then. Ooh, Mill Road. Okay, this will be interesting.
Did you forget which map you assigned?
I fight and forget missile, mate. I organised this tournament weeks ago, and players just show up and play these days. So we've got a very well-fueled engine and an ecosystem that just works. It's great, the Master League scene and the tournament scene in general, to be honest, which is one and the same, to be fair, these days. Oh, we've got 8 seconds till it starts. That is fantastic timing. Oh, I'm really happy with that. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to... No ML5 entrance music. We're just going to do this. Do need to level the scores at 0-0. I'll do that in a second. But let's introduce the players first. We have, starting in the south, just two-time world champion mega player, Loveness, the best Soviet tournament player of all time. Affected meta more than anybody else. Jibber's got his work cut out for him, hasn't he, Indeed?
Yeah, today we have Jibber Jabber Jobber in the north playing as Austere and immediately locking in his favourite build and commander, Ostrupen. He does have his work cut out for him today, and he's a relatively newcomer to the scene in terms of tournament play, so it'll be good to see the old boy getting a kicking, maybe.
Maybe, yes. Loveness should not underestimate Jibber Jabber Jobber. Let us talk to you about their path to the semi-final today. This is a semi-final. Loveness beat Bulat 2-0 and then Theodosios 2-1. Meanwhile, Jibber, he beat Borobadger 2-0 and Orange Pest 2-0. Some fantastic games in amongst that, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. I mean, I didn't manage to catch them all, but I did see some Orange Pest versus Jibber, hoping to sort of massage my ego, seeing Orange Pest do really well this tournament, because he kicked me out in 2-0. But no, Jibber came in with some odd builds and took Orange Pest off his guard.
Yeah, he certainly bloody did. I'm just... let's have a look at some of these early game confrontations as Ostrupen come up against the conscripts over here. And in a second we'll... What do you think about this commander choice, defensive doctrine with the Ostrupen? How do you think it's going to play out for Jibber? And what's his overall meta with that?
So if he follows his last game versus Orange Pest, he will now get 2 Grenadiers as sort of an additional firepower force. So he caps the map really quickly with these Ostrupen and manages to get some good manpower efficient trades with the conscripts, and then gets LMG Grenadiers, as you can see in the build order now, to back them up. It also gives him access to Fausts pretty early. Well, of course, you get the Fausts now anyway. But it's definitely one of the better doctrines. There's 2 Ostrupen doctrines. This one's the better one, as you have the Stuggy that you can call in.
Just showing on the screen now, that's why I went quiet for a second. I've just pulled up the stat cards for Loveness and Jibber, and that is Jibber's real face, by the way, everybody. He sent me that PNG in the week. He's made himself into a Panzer Grenadier, it would seem. But yeah, as you can see, Loveness is 8 years younger than Jibber. He's had so much more tournament success. He's a 9-rated tournament player, and Jibber is pretty much just starting out. I haven't even got a style of play blurb for him. But he's getting better and better. Maybe we need to reevaluate Jibber's stats after this tournament. Taking off those stats now, we now see that the Ostrupen have pushed away a conscript. I'm sure that we have a flamethrower combat engineer surely arriving soon. But no, it seems that Loveness is just using heavy cover to battle against the Ostrupen for the time being.
Yeah, I think Loveness will certainly go for at least one flamethrower. He loves that thing to help push units out of cover. He might even go for 2 against the Ostrupen. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's possible. Although with, of course, Ostrupin not requiring upgrades until you get Battle Phase 2. Oh, nice cut-off coming in, by the way, in the north. Loveness going all the way around the Horn, but Grenadiers have just come out of base, so Jibber's going for a really heavy Tier 1. 3 Ostrupin, 2 Grenadiers. I was about to say, though, of course, you often see Telemines with Ostrupin play, because you don't have to upgrade them like you do with Grens as early.
Yeah, certainly, that could be a pretty good effective counter against the inevitable Soviet light vehicle. But with the 2 Grenadiers, he'll have less munitions spent, but he will have some. Maybe that's a good medium ground for Jibber.
So, Combat Engineer was forced away by the arrival of the Grenadier. Did actually kill one of those Soldaten. In the meanwhile, Grenadier's back away. Jibber's now pushed in, though, using that superior infantry numbers to go and get the fuel the hard way. No cut-off needed.
Yeah, that'll be annoying for Loveness, but he does have a conscript moving on the way, and he'll be able to win that fight. But he will lose this fight in the middle, allowing the cutoff to be taken anyway. So, see what we see here. The Grens are pretty low health, so he may not want to go for such a risky cutoff in deep enemy territory.
Certainly not. Ostrupin have done their work, and now they go away and just take a standard territory point. They're just being a nuisance right now. And Loveness, of course, won World Championships 2019, and I think he was maybe 3rd place in 2020. So he's been around the era when Ostrupin were incredibly dominant. And he prospered in that era, so he should know the counters. He should know what he wants to do, and it won't take him long to get a feel for which direction he's going.
Certainly won't. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how he counters this build. This, to be honest, completely new. Very few people have ever, especially in tournaments, I've never seen a Grens and Ostrupin combined like this. So, Jibber forcing change in the way that Loveness may be used to.
Yes, very true. Without possibly having the tournament success that goes along with it, Jibber is actually at least trying to figure out new ways to play the game competitively, and he's had some limited success so far. So some very good OKW play the other day. His OKW build was really nice.
Oh yeah, what did he do? I didn't catch that game.
It was Spec Ops basically from back in the day, but we haven't seen Spec Ops used with the Command Panther for a while. He was keeping the Command Panther on hold fire, and apparently when you release it from hold fire, it has on-the-move accuracy. Doesn't have the on-the-move accuracy nerf basically, so you can get a really good snipe shot off, and he was doing that to a great effect on this very map. Now we've got guards coming out for Loveness, so he's just going to go for guard motor coordination tactics with the mortar probably to follow if we see any support weapons from Jibber. But combat engineers have got a bit of an oof moment. 222's just kicking their asses on retreat there. Yeah, oh, apparently we've had a Gren lost, Findy.
Yes, we did. Yeah, so in the little shed in the middle, Jibber must have just forgotten it. I know that Jibber's a attack player, so he may not have realised that Gren was getting so low, as the unit card on the map doesn't show when the unit's in building in the same way. So they're in
the shed somewhere. There they are, yeah. Yes. They just died in the shed, guys. What the hell?
Yeah, that heavy cover over on the left side there just countered that shed pretty hard. Jibber must be pretty annoyed with himself right now. We'll see what the kicking the Hornet's Nest does.
Yeah, that's not good at all for Jibber. That's the nerves probably not seeing that. 2 2-2s from him though. Here comes the second one, just arriving on the battlefield. Conscripts get the hell out of there. They do not have the upgrades right now. He's going straight for Tankovi Battalion Command, so these double 2-2s are going to have a moment of shock factor on the field. Let's see how much pressure they can apply.
We do have the light counter of the guards out, but they will not trade well for too long unless they're in heavy cover. And obviously Jibber won't be losing manpower during these kind of fights. But we do have tier 3 going up for Loveness in the base, and he does have the fuel for a T-70 should he want one.
Isilda correcting people in chat. You can't actually see them, but you just have to squint your eyes. It's just not very obvious when they're in a garrison. Every other unit in TAC map is super obvious to its position, and you just have to be a bit more aware and a bit more attuned to spotting the garrisoned units. Certainly an easy mistake to make though, in not seeing them die.
Yeah, something as a TAC map player you have to get used to, sort of remembering that you put this unit in a building and to look for it.
Grens versus combat engineers in this paddock area over here. We've got a little sandbag wedge, a double-decker patty with lettuce, tomatoes, and barbed wire.
They always go down so easily, those patties.
In the north, we've got the 222's getting backed off right now. The T-70's on its way, so of course the limited happy period of the 222's is going to come to an end. And he's going to go for an MG next. Why not pack? Surely. There we go. There we go. Yes, Jibber. He's listening to me. Thank you, Jibber. Good play.
Yeah, the pack's certainly needed if he wants to protect his double 222 against guards and a T-70, which I haven't seen any telemines on the ground yet. I don't know if you have.
Oh no.
It'll certainly be time for them now.
I'm rubbish at spotting them, quite frankly. He's gone for an LMG Grenadier. He's got healing up in base. That's the use of munitions we've had thus far.
Yeah, I guess he just hasn't had that great a map control, despite the Ostroupen pick.
Alright, Ostroopens, don't forget, do have Faust, so he can protect the 222s that way. It just means that they can have a limited effect on the field now. They won't be able to maraud as maliciously as they once did.
Indeed. It might be useful for Jibber to try and destroy some of this barbed wire with the 222 so he can retake that position behind the heavy cover.
Good victory point play though so far. They're trading equally. Not bad, well, very good fuel control for both players, to be honest. Milroad does tend to have that if the fighting's in the centre. T-70's yet to get a kill. Ostroupen just back away for now. And meanwhile, we've got conscripts on the retreat path, and they're going to harass. So yeah, Lovenest is having an era of exerted dominance here.
Certainly is. I mean, Lovenest is very good at sort of seeing your build and doing his thing regardless.
Did you see that cheeky Molotov? That was epic. He just threw it over the Grenadiers' heads and they walked into it. Nice.
Nice prediction there from the old master.
He is old, isn't he? 29. God, could you imagine being that old? It's crazy.
Well, I am actually that age, so I can imagine it quite well.
Well, I could imagine it 3 years ago. Right.
Yeah.
Mortar's out next for Jibber, so he's definitely getting some full weapon orientated build. I'm sure this might tempt Lovenest into the death cannon of doom, the 120mm mortar squad.
Yeah,
Players are suggesting they want to see balanced via tourney mode right now. What are your thoughts on that, Jibber?
I think it would be quite nice. I think if we get into balancing one unit in tournament mode, we might end up with an endless balance. But maybe that's the path we should take now that the game is no longer being actively developed. We could turn tournament mode into a new kind of balancing system.
Depends if Co 3 gets delayed. If Co 3 gets significantly delayed, I'm sure we could do something like that. But right now, I think we've got enough juice to get us to Co 3. We only need about another year, I guess. I feel like the meta's interesting enough, and the units aren't as dominant as people are making out. Fine.
There are certainly
margins.
counters. Certainly counters, and as you were saying earlier, there's going to be a long period of meta development over this time, which you're quite a fan of in terms of Co 1, and how that can change. So it might be nice to have that in Co 2.
Certainly good, certainly good. We've got Grenadiers on the east side. Conscripts are... What the hell is going on here? They're having a bit of an orgy of defensive structures on the victory point, it would seem. Just very interesting play, let's say. Got field med packs being delivered from themselves to themselves by the Austrian. Mine detonates. Austrian pulls away in the north.
Yeah, it's pretty even at the moment. Victory points are slightly in favour of Lovenest, but the map situation seems to be fairly even. It really depends on the next passage of play, I think.
Definitely. One thing I've noticed about Lovenest since he came back to the Master League in this latest edition is he's played with a certain sense of liberty at times. He's not been stuck in the meta. So the fact that Jibber's gone 2 mortars and a mixed hybrid Gren and Ostroupen build, he might respect and actually relish playing these games. I think we're going to have a real good series on our hands here because, yeah, 2 mortars from Jibber. Yeah, get out of the shed, Love Nest. It's not safe there.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty effective at countering this sort of cover hugging play that Loveness likes so much. If he can keep those mortars safe from marauding conscripts.
Speaking of which, here they are. You know they have Molotovs now, but the LMG Grenadiers are ready to defend. How are the 222s doing so far for you, Grenadiers?
Well, one has 7 kills, the other has 8 kills. I think he's getting pretty good value out of them. And considering his build is so immobile, going for the double 222 really helps make up for that and allows him to sort of respond to Loveness pressure very rapidly. So I'd say they've been doing really well.
Fair enough, fair enough. And here we go, the 120mm. Where's Jibber's fuel teching at? He's just getting Battle Phase 2 as we live and breathe. In fact, we should hear the announcer say something. You can now use rocket artillery and something that's probably not the case anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Heavy panzers.
Right. Ooh, I tell you. This 120mm can have some fun versus double Wehrmacht mortars.
Yeah, especially when they're grouped up like that.
To be honest, best way to cast this now is to take a wide angle and just watch the mortars pelt each other from afar.
I mean, I think we should have let Ed cast this game, considering how much he loves mortars.
Well, Ed's starting a new job tomorrow. He's going down to London, Findy, so he's back already. He couldn't get rid of him.
Oh no, we tried very hard. I started a petition to get rid of Ed from London, but didn't get the signatures I needed.
That's a shame, that's a shame. Maybe a march is required next. As the T-70 now climbing, well, it's only got 2 kills to be honest. We're having the disassembly of Sandbagsville by the 222. The conscripts have got a long time to stay there because they've got 5 layers of protection.
Yeah, that's quite the position, but now the T-70 turns up and will turn the favour back into Loveness hands.
Just going to try and drink some coffee and do camera work at the same time. If you could cover for me, Finn.
Of course, we've got the guards up in the north here, pushing right into the base and potentially taking out this AT gun if Jibber doesn't respond quickly enough. We've had both mortars pushed off the map as well. The AT gun does indeed go down, and it should be able to recreate before it gets destroyed by the PTRSs. Yes, the mortar's being pushed off the map and being quite ineffective so far. With no kills each.
Did you see the range on that thing? He gave it a real good spin. Like a frisbee nade, like from Tiberian Sun. It was fantastic. Alright, Garth's just climbed to 16 kills, having obviously defeated that pack. We do have the Panzer IV about to come out, so this momentary triple cap from Loveness will come to an end with this new wave of pressure that the Panzer IV will help him achieve.
Indeed it will, but we've got Loveness going tier 4 now, maybe a little bit later than would be ideal, considering that he's still got 136 fuel in the bank. But he is lacking manpower to get his T-34-85 out right away, so we will have a period of P4 dominance, and see what Jibber can do.
Right, so he's still got his double 222s. Panzer IV, double mortars. This is a really cool build. If you think about it, he has the ability to defend his support weapons really well now, and also spot for them, don't forget, with 2 So, although I see Loveness is really kind of chilling on 3 victory points, it shouldn't be the case for too long.
Yeah, indeed. We've also got Loveness with his heavy mortar that should be able to somewhat counter the double mortar from Jibber. I think from here, I know that Jibber's probably not going to do this, but an MG might actually be very helpful just to sort of counteract these guards, which have, as we've seen, 16 kills marauding across the map, and the 222s are being ineffectual again, so
yeah,
maybe some build variation here.
Yeah, or just, I don't know, wait for the second Panzer IV, I suppose, but yeah, MG's always useful. He's up against the 120mm, but his own mortars should be enough, especially if they start using the counter barrage against it. Is that still a thing? Still work well? They tried to nerf it, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think I'm not sure. I've not used counter barrage in a really long time, but I think one of his mortars may be on it right now.
Yeah, well, the bigger news is the Panzer IV's just hit a mine. The guards are watching on, the Ziskun's watching on, the 222s jump to save the president.
Yeah, we've got a little guard squad here for the sort of guard platoon, the 222s to try and defend the Panzer IV retreating.
Conscripts are just offering themselves as a sacrifice to allow the guards to fire over their shoulders and sustain more damage. We're going to have Vet 3 guards very soon. And they push on through the light cover craters the mortars are creating. And they're going to continue to get kills. The 120mm fires shells overhead. The 222 backs away. Panzer IV needs to go stationary. Could get a nice shot off here. It's been buttoned though. Where's the Zisk gun? He's pushed up with it. Loveness is getting aggressive. He is backing the Panzer IV into a corner, but the 222 reacts and pushes the Zisk gun around, giving it multiple targets to think about. This is an interesting passage of play.
It certainly is, and the aggressive AT gun could be punished if Jibber knows how, if you can get something around there, but the T-70 is playing guard duty, and Jibber just doesn't have the right forces in the right place to punish this attack.
What about that 222 driving, though? He had the choice of going north of the house or south of it. He chose south because he knew he had a Grenadier Panzer Faust ready to defeat the T-70 should Loveness have pursued. So, just really good, quick thinking by Jibber then, under pressure and under stress from this Zisk gun, which had multiple targets in its sights.
Yeah, maybe the nerves are wearing off now, and Jibber's being able to deploy his full range of cognitive abilities to this match.
Yeah, well, he's been on about that. He's had a bit of block in games, but he's been playing every single Master League tournament he can, and he's been practicing as much as he can. So maybe he's getting over the psychological block now, and he's starting to be able to play his best.
Indeed, I certainly hope so.
Cool.
And if he is still nervous and he's managing to take Loveness into dangerous territory, then I'd love to see what he can do when he's not nervous at all.
Definitely. Well, don't forget, I mean, that's one of the things that set the elite level apart, not just their incredible skill, but their psychology and the fact that the other players have not had enough practice in battle-hardened situations as them. I mean, Loveness, we all know his battle scars and trophies, literal trophy. He has 2 literal trophies. You know, it's incredible, so...
It is incredible, and I think he's gone through to most of the... at least the semi-finals of a lot of tournaments as well, which means that even if he hasn't won them, he's certainly contested them right up to the last.
Yeah, exactly. Guards do have Vet 3 now. It's one of the most powerful infantry squads in the game. But we have a lot of LMG Osttrooping on the field, so a little bit of a power spike coming out from Jibber, especially with the mortars helping him. The mortars don't have many kills, but certainly keep the squads moving.
They will indeed. I think Jibber might need to leverage something else against these guard squads now. They've just gone up to 21 kills.
Oh.
A kill a minute at this rate, despite coming out later than the first minute.
Oh, just had a mortar decrewed over here, thanks to the conscripts pushing in. The Panzer IV comes to defend, but to be honest, they can still take the mortar if they wanted it. I'm not sure they do. Currently focus firing the Pak 40.
Yeah, why take that mortar when you can just get another 120 if you need to?
I'm supposed to stop him having the material, but then you've got it and you might not want it.
Yeah, exactly.
85, just claiming second kill there versus the Grenadiers. Loveness is still just dominating. And at this point, we have to ask ourselves, what is Jibber lacking in his build order? What is he not doing, Findeed?
I mean, I hate to say it, but maybe some kind of MG. He's lacking the ability to really punish aggressive moves by Loveness, to sort of stop them in their tracks. Unfortunately, with the guards, the AT gun, and now the tank out, he probably needs something more substantial to prevent his team weapons and his somewhat more long-range infantry from just getting swamped.
Yeah, I think you might have hit the nail on the head. An MG is usually the backbone of the Wehrmacht, just as it was in the real Second World War. And Company Harris is no different. It often feels they are naked without one. He gets into the guard tower there to see over the bushes. Really cool feature. I love it.
You see all the men standing in one position, very, very close in there. Yes, I forgot what I was going to say.
Make something up. I do that a million times a cast, and I just make up a new point. People have often accused. Well, I once got accused in a YouTube comment of, this guy clearly just makes it up as he goes along. He doesn't think about what he's saying before he speaks. And I'm guilty as charged.
You can't have something Yeah, that's true. You can't have something insightful to say every single moment of a 6-hour
No.
cast.
It was kind of brutal. But I get a million really nice comments, but it's always the nasty ones I remember more. It's how human nature works. It's crap, isn't it?
Yeah. Someone was saying that you remember your in-game victories more than your losses, and for that reason you struggle to learn. And then obviously you remember psychologically the horrible comments more. Got a great flank here with the P4.
Oh yes, it's getting in there, but it misses! It was an attack round through the smoke, but the T-34 85 had not reversed fast enough for its liking. And he gets the second follow-up, though. He kept in there. More targets applied, though. Zisgun tracking. He needs to get behind this shed. Good micro from Jibber. Yes, and he gets his just desserts. Well played by the Dutchman. Perfect play.
Perfect play, and a great opportunity to go in there and take a unit off Loveness and really hurt him.
Oh, lovely stuff. Just that fine margin of taking the extra second to do an S-bend around the shed were really saved in there. And we all saw the attack round from Love Nest. It didn't hit the mark. Well played.
Well played indeed. And it looks like Jibber, despite the fact he's down on 96 victory points now, looks like he could still be in this game. He just needs to keep his nerve and not let Loveness bully him off those points.
Ah, I love seeing sandbags get destroyed, Finn. I hate sandbags, man. Every time one dies, I'm like, balance team did some good changes, and that was one.
It is a good one.
They're the target size of a King Tiger or a Zeppelin airship now, and they can just be hit all the time, every time.
Yeah, unless you've got Ham's luck, and then you can't hit them at all.
Oh, they're close to this conscript squad. Zis misses. Oh, and I think it was Moz in the gunfire that got the kill there. That was one micro situation too many for Jibber. He overextended that time. I think he's got a bit too confident.
Maybe he's still got the other Vet 222, so he still has some of that vision. But I think maybe he should just leave this in place now and try and make sure he doesn't lose it, so he retains that vision.
Oh no, I know he got the 18 aid, guys, but he still had a minuscule amount of health despite being 18 aided, so it needed one more bullet to kill the job, I believe. Rewind if you don't believe me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I saw it.
Yeah, Jibber making good use of that tower you mentioned earlier, just having a two-man Oststrupen squad in there just to give vision. Pretty nifty.
Reminds me of that very dark World War II joke, and I'm sure you know the one. Anyways, this gun fires on the Panzer IV, which has been 1880 with... Oh, Loveness misses again! He's having such bad luck now. Oh no, it hits. It was an animation. My bad.
It did, yes, it was...
It was cooking up.
Yeah, nearly... Yeah, that's a bad thing for Jibber there. And if it sounds like we're on Jibber's side, it's only because we want to make sure we get some good games in here against the favourite Loveness at this point, who seems to be reasserting his control over this game.
Oh, Jibber very much is an X-Wing versus the Death Star at the moment. It's, there's no shame in supporting the absolute underdog versus a towering behemoth that is Lovenest. It's fully build incoming. Lovenest has fuel and manpower as well.
I think Loveness might be waiting to see what comes out from Jibber now before he makes his choice.
Yeah, he wants to take into account how many support weapons, and this is really wise from Lovenest, because a miscalculated tier 4 build from Soviets can be a death knell. If you get an Su-85 or a Katusha or a T-34 at the wrong time, it can be really punishing. So he's right to float here and bide his time.
Yeah, especially he's the one who's got the time. He's got 431.
Oh, T-70. Max range there from the Pack 40. Finds him. Great shot.
And that prompts a decision from Loveness to get another T-34, especially as this one in the north looks like it might go down as well.
Yes! What a kill there for Jibber. Okay, that is fanboying too much. But two kills in a row. Yeah, really, I did actually overstep the mark. I sounded like a child at a football game. Yes, Daddy, we scored!
Yeah! But yeah, it certainly looks like Jibber's back in this game again.
Right, we've got the Vet 2 Zisgun under harassment from the Oststrupen. Panzer IV pushes in. Two very quick, successive tank kills. Jibber cannot afford to overextend. Loveness time and time again gets beaten in the mid-game against these new tournament players and then just outlasts them, Findeed.
He does, and with Jibber making some questionable choices there with his tank going in deep against an AT gun with anti-tank support, may now lose his Panzer IV to the marauding T-34-85. See if he can get out of there. Another 2-2-2 goes down in the south as well. Jibber being taxed across the map now.
Yeah, multiple. That's very taxing. I heard enemy destroyed. It was indeed the conscripts that got an 18-8 off on it and killed it down here. Meanwhile, we had engagements in the north with the T-34 going in. We have had a cut-off for a while thanks to this Ostrupin squad doing the dirty.
He should probably run away now.
Yes, he probably should. He's overextended his welcome. But no. Okay, he has. There we go. Victory point-wise, guys, the bad news for Jibber is he's not able to make gains, bro. He's had some really good successes, but he's not cemented them.
Yeah, and this is actually something where you see the real hardcore tournament players who have been doing this for a really long time. They do prioritise those VPs significantly more than you might see in less experienced players and players who maybe are playing auto match. They make sure that, because VPs is time, and you need time in these matches. If you had a bad passage of play, you can always come back if you've got the VPs.
Yeah, that's the one win condition that matters the most. Two-man Ostrupin. And he's hearing us, he's capping as we speak, but he can't afford to do so with Grenadiers when they're so expensive to lose. Ostrupin do their duty in the south. They've got a trench waiting for them. There's one in the centre as well. Conscripts watching on as the Pax retreat. He's got a new Panzer IV. That's going to help the situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jibber.
what is he doing with these Grens in the west, Finn?
Oh no! T-34 proving his worth. 6 kills already. But Jibber has managed to get 2 VPs in his control, giving him that little bit of extra time. But if he keeps losing units for each VP cap, he's going to lose this game. Looks like Jibber's pulled the...
Oh, he's pulled the trigger. 2 Panzer IVs
Yeah.
are pushing in. He's getting past the Ziscon Vet 3. He's going in for the T-34-85, but he's had no penetrations thus far. Mort target in on the west side. Panzer IV, he's still going in. He's finally penetrated. Ziscon's just been towed. He's hauling ass to get into the situation. We've got guards waiting, though. He will not be able to pursue, or should I say, he should not pursue this situation. Maybe he knows better than me. He's still going in. He gets a crush a little bit there.
Jibber's feeling desperate because of the VP situation, and he's trying to end this game in one way or another.
And we're going to have to look away from this for a second. We've got an engagement in the north as conscripts getting annihilated. Meanwhile, T-34's made it through the escape hatch. I remember requesting this from Ricky Rifle way back in the day. Ziscon gets a kill on one of the Panzer IVs still coming in, but here's the 18-8. Can the T-34 survive? No, it can't. Panzer's taking its 18-8 now. The Guards are pursuing. It's going to take a shot in on the conscripts. What's happened elsewhere? We've got Ostrupin going for the victory point. He's got Pioneers on the line there, but he's still getting drained as we speak. Live and breathe, indeed.
Indeed, and we've got the chase now on for the Panzer IV. 18-8, AT gun and Guards chasing to try and finish off this Panzer IV.
Be a lucky survival, very lucky. We've got Ostrupin's gunning them down. The shot missed. However, Guards are going to be able to jump in and then out of the house perhaps, or well, actually just walk around it most likely. Ostrupin can come in the north still. New Pioneers draw the line. They hit a mine. They're not going to win that one. More victory points are going to bleed out. There we go. The tank's gone down to the Guards. They went round the house and got the kill. And Ostrupin are getting pushed away. This could be the death of Jibber Jabber Jobber now, because the victory points will be capped. Lovenest wins the overall war there. And he threw the dice, and unfortunately he's out of luck.
It is, and this is a good time to sort of show how Loveness, despite kind of probably knowing that he was going to lose that tank, eking out as much time as possible for him to make gains in other parts of the map. And unfortunately Jibber just couldn't finish off that fight.
I just think Ostrupin don't have the sustainability and fighting power of Grenadiers with LMGs Vet 3, man.
No, not against this build from Loveness today.
27 kills on those Guards, man. It's just so powerful.
Yeah. And once you get 7-man conscripts, they can easily outtrade LMG Obersoldaten.
I mean, I'm all for Jibber Jabber Jabber. I wanted to see him find new ways to play the game. But, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. He's still got 2 more qualification tournaments after this one. He's got onto the semi-final. He's bagged some very important qualification points. And he made a game of this, but Loveness really never felt like he was in danger at any point, I don't think. But GG well played regardless.
GG well played.
So yeah, there we go. As we go onto a screen that just has my face, and I thought that was an interesting game. It was all right. As I say, I think Ostroupen are a bit of a weird choice in modern days. There's a reason we don't see them very often, Nathan.
Yeah, I think that they lack the ability to make the game their own, in the way that Grenadiers can. You have to react with them to what your other opponent is doing. It's hard to say where Jibber went wrong there, other than maybe some interesting trades. He did lose a Grenadier early, which really hampered his ability to hold map and fight back against those guards. I think maybe a sniper would be good for this build rather than a mortar, rather than the second mortar.
Well, that's a really good point, actually. An MG instead of the second mortar. Just 2 mortars is too much. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
2 was kind of not bad. I'm not going to discredit the double scout cars, but I will discredit the double mortar. It's one meme too many.
Yeah, and especially when Loveness didn't actually, I don't think, other than the AT gun, he didn't have any team weapons at all until the 120 mortar came out, and that's a direct sort of hard counter to those mortars in the first place. So I think maybe go mortar reactively if you see team weapons or you see the conscripts hunkering down in heavy cover a lot.
So the second game has surely not started because Jibber's still... he's in chat right now listening to us. You shouldn't be listening. It's psychologically bad for you if you listen to us criticise you in between games. Go on, Jibber. Go out there, smash him. You can do this. Just stop doing so many off-meta decisions. Maybe just 1 per game. Limit yourself. 1 non-meta decision per game. And to be honest, do you know, one thing I just said made me think of something, Finn. It's more psychological, and maybe it's something you've encountered. As you get older, if you talk to really young guys at like family parties, they're always really eager to impress you because they think, oh, it's my older uncle or cousin or whatever. And they come out with 1 joke or 2 jokes, they have a few beers, and then they start being a bit cringy. Like, too many memes. 1 meme is enough. we don't need 5 jokes in the course of 1 sentence. So
stop trying to be edgy, Jibber. Just play... Yes, just play Grens.
He's our edgy young cousin right now, and we're just like, dude, chill, bro. You're fine. just play.
He's too young. Does this make him a what generation? Is he still a millennial at this point?
It makes us sound old. If you talk about generations in terms of what they're called, it makes us sound about 50.
Gen X's or something now, is it?
He's a Zoomer X. One of these Zoomer X kids coming in here with a double mortars.
Just play Grens like everyone else, goddammit.
In my day, we had 1 2 and we were happy. That's all we needed, just the 1 scout car. Right then, let's get an invite sent to yourself. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, they still haven't started yet, have they?
No, they just we'll have the 5-minute wait.
Cool. Let's go check out the other series as it unfolds. Hey, Hafiz! Well done, mate. You did really well. Your prize is... Everyone clap for Hafiz for winning the mid-rank showdown. I'm going to get you a clap emoji now that we can all copy and paste. So give him some claps, everybody. He did really well. He's the best mid-rank player not to play in the top bracket. So congrats, Hafiz.
I was hoping to be able to get into that mid-rank tournament.
Oh yeah, I was checking out Alpern's stream. Let's see what's going on. He always restreams my stream, so I'll restream his stream. Right back at you. Nagano's winning 1-0. Quite quickly, it would seem.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. Wonder how the game went. I love Alpern's new like he keeps animating his face and like have you seen the Co 3 mock up he's done?
Oh yeah, he just put his face on every single character there. I like that.
Alright, so first game. Is this this will be the first game. Nico's Soviets, Kurits. He must have just smashed him, I guess. Yeah, the M5 came in.
It looks like maybe Nico's decided to go off meta to try and throw Quirits off his game.
I'm sensing that the end is going to come soon by looks of this. Oh yeah, the T-34 pushes up. The M5 gets Vet 3. He gets and he's just got control. He's just dominating him. Goes in with the marked target. Finishes off the Panzer 4. Packs down. This must be game. If this gets away and he kills it, maybe. No, it goes on for a little while longer. And then he just has enough. So that's game 1. That's just dominance from Nagano. He's clearly on form today. There we go.
Yeah, we saw some. I don't know if you were around, but we saw some Dutchmen scrimming against Nagano, and he looked on point. So might be a Nagano qualifier if Loveness can't beat him. If Jibber can't beat him either.
We get to watch that, Findeed. How about that? That's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
Good man.
I hope you're all excited in chat.
Can you contain your excitement, perhaps? Or will it overflow? We'll have to wait and see. Let's see if the players have started. Starting, they said, which was 3 minutes ago, so we've got a couple of minutes now. There it is. Got it. Indeed. 3 minutes. Perfect. Vector, what do you mean resident sleeper? Sorry you've had to wait 7 minutes. Oh dear.
I used to like you, Vector.
I used
what
to
happened
as well. I miss the old Vector.
Oh, he's only just woken up at nearly 3 o'clock.
Oh my god, these mathematicians. They live a
out all night
party
doing
lifestyle.
maths.
He's naughty. Oh, that word has such sexual connotations. It's such a weird word.
Yeah, it's one of those cringe words now, isn't it? You can no longer describe a cat in a particular word anymore because it has connotations.
The words daddy, naughty, moist.
Yeah.
They're just words that are now not part of common English lexicon now.
And I blame California personally on their rampant porn industry.
Oh yes, of course, yes. Where everyone's stepmom and stepmom.
Yes. I think maybe we're revealing too much about ourselves and our knowledge.
Well, I thought we were on about soap operas.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Family dramas. That's what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah, the Emmerdale of California. Yeah.
Zany, we didn't need to go there. Help me, step tank. I'm stuck. Oh god, that's funny. Right, got 1 minute and 24 seconds left. Can hardly contain my excitement.
Yeah, be good to see USF. Haven't seen much of them this tournament. Don't see much of them in general in tournaments anymore.
Limited success.
So, what are the changes that were made to Mill Road for the ML version?
Oh, I'll go over them if you want. It's a good idea. It's a good talking point, isn't it? 54 seconds. I can be all official and do the scores before the game starts for the first time ever. So yeah, we not much happened in the West, to be honest. In the North, there was a lot of changes. to just the cut-off area because we felt that support weapons could get absolutely dominated by pushes from the allied players. So we just opened it up a little bit. We moved one of these silos, got rid of it. The trench system ended up not being touched very much. We did touch it originally, but then we changed it. And we also removed that green cover cemetery. And the whole problem is that players were just smashing the allied Wehrmacht player mostly, cover from this side and this side. Now they just have to do it from this side, I guess. But with correct timing, you can still smash them. We haven't stopped that. There's always going to be big site blockers here and here. And there, obviously, with the building. But so, yeah, we basically opened it up a little bit. Other than that, it's just started. We made it so there's only one door on this house. Because there was 2 doors on both north sides. So we felt it was a little bit unfair that the north player could jump out and evade grenades. So we changed that. We pushed some green cover up to the fuel point so the north player could fight for their own fuel a bit better. See, there's like a wall there.
Oh, yes.
So it's just little tiny quality of life changes, basically, just to help the north player. It's always going to be an allied favoured map because of the site blockers, but, you know, it should be a little bit easier now. And that's basically it. Nothing else. Oh, and as sunrise, somebody said. It's like... Does it? Where's the sun, K-Pen? Does it come throughout the map? Definitely looks very dusky, doesn't it?
It does. It's a very pretty map, this one.
It is indeed. Let's play a quick little 20-second intro just to get us in the mood after that very boring map video.
It's time for the 1v1 elite. It's time for the 1v1 elite showdown. Steady up, fellas.
Hello, and here he is, the man down on his chips, down on his luck. But he's not down and out quite yet. Jibber Jabber Jobber gave Lovenest a good game in that previous one. He's playing as US, a faction made for Mill Road. Findeed, what's he got to do differently, and how does he accomplish it?
Well, he's got to make sure that you can push Lovenest off of his game and force him into making decisions that maybe he doesn't want to make. When you let Lovenest do his thing, he's almost an unstoppable force. So it'll be good to see the impetus from Jibber Jabber Jobber putting some hurt on Lovenest early and forcing him into decisions he doesn't want to do.
Fair enough. Sounds very coercive. He's got to get it done. And Pioneers and Grenadiers going for the fuel and cut-off simultaneously. That's just good capping orders. Lovenest is very mindful about timing and capping orders on maps, and he times it all to perfection. I always remember his Plodney Firma Summer Western Allies capping order and like barbed wire construction orders were so precise. It was unreal. It was like really good to watch, to be honest.
Living up to his reputation, so the Germans' reputation as being very efficient. I suppose it's one of those things that you can do every single time, and it's just a little extra efficiency gain that could turn the tide. Interestingly, Lovenest hasn't gone for an MG this time round. Maybe suspecting early grenades from Jibber Jabber Jobber.
Could be. Let's see what other choices he has. He has Blitzkrieg. He has Jaeger Infantry Doctrine, so he could be going for G43 spam strat. And insert... Well, you're not going to see that. Meanwhile, Jibber's gone for Rifle Company. Easy 8s, field defences, and of course, he could get rear echelon flamethrowers. I'm not going to think he's going to do that. Where do you see that commander going?
Well, obviously the Easy 8 Shermans are quite a good late game tank against Austies, quite robust Panzer IVs, but I'd like to see him use the M3 half track maybe as an additional way of being mobile and aggressive.
That would be
but of course, actually, the sandbags are a very underestimated part of this game for the USF.
And the mines.
Yeah, that's true. Mines and sandbags, something that that USF typically struggle with.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
More Grenadiers for Lovenest. He's gone 4 now. This could be indicative of indeed G43 play. We'll have to wait and see. Rifles joining the fray with the rear echelons behind their tank trap. We've got Grenadiers behind the newly positioned haystack there. It was originally a little bit too far behind this shrubbery. Just as I say, little quality of life changes brought to Mill Road. Nothing revolutionary.
Actually seeing Jibber making good use of all of the early aspects of his commander choice, putting a mine down just south of the middle VP and trying to get sandbags up in several locations, but just failing to do so.
Right then, Gren's forced off in the north. Rifles trying to get round the side of the well. Rear echelons joining the fray. Actually getting a bit of light cover here. There's some stuff that gives light cover. I'm not too sure what it is actually. It's like a shrub.
Yeah, some plant leaf.
Ah!
Remarkably good at stopping bullets, I've heard.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Plant leaf, that sounds interesting. I asked my neighbour for some plant leaf earlier today. There's a mine down here, near this. There it is. Do you know which one I'm on about? It's the one that just exploded.
Yes, yeah. so far, Love Nest has lost like 4 units to Jibber's quite significantly higher losses so far.
The race is on. We've got synchronised death crawling. Who's going to get there first? Is it Hans or Wilhelm? Sorry, you can't see that, Findeed.
I can. I zoomed in. They're both.
Oh, you got the same animation. That's good.
Yeah.
Good, good. Oh, they've stopped. No, they're still going. Oh, Wilhelm's given up. Hans is still going. Well played, Hans.
Oh.
You've died, but you won. Oh no, he's just stood up again in celebration of his win. We'll tell his Mutter and Vater all about that historic win.
He'll get a medal for that, won't he?
Well, he won't, but his family will.
Yes. Yes. I forgot what the term is for that. It's like
Posthumous.
Posthumous. Yes.
I'd probably say it wrong. Yeah.
Post-death.
For red.
And have the 222 coming out at the same time as the M20. Well, more or less.
Utility car taking the field.
Yeah, that's a nice little power spike complete negating, isn't it? They're just going to at the same time.
I guess that's what Loveness was doing there. He knew that some kind of light vehicle was going to come out early, so he opted to go for the 4 Grens, perhaps more map, and get his 222 out earlier. Good strategic awareness from Loveness to take that decision before the game's even really started.
I think if people knew just how beautiful this game is, we have so many more players. It's freaking amazing. I know I commentate and say that roughly 1 times every 20 casts, but it still impresses me to this day.
It's such a great spectator sport because of the way in which that there's constantly action happening. There's mind games, and you don't have loads of this like, oh, the villagers collecting the wood.
Dude, I really don't get Age of Empires. I like some of the micro-mechanical and the build orders. Some of the stuff they go for is really interesting. It takes a lot of grey matter, but just as a spectator sport, it's a little bit underwhelming at times, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, I know exactly what you mean about, he's gone men-at-arms, I'll go knights to counter them, and there's the whole psychological
it's good,
element of predicting, and that's great, but you just spend so much time looking at your base and making sure you've built the right unit in the right place.
That's what I say about StarCraft as well. Go to any StarCraft cast. Go to the best StarCraft cast of all time on YouTube. Flick to a random segment of the YouTube video. If you're looking at minerals, you know AE is right. Fantastic game. Superior mechanical RTS to Company Heroes in every sense of the word. But it's just not as cool of a spectator sport, and that's the big shame about Company Heroes. It just didn't take off as an esport when it could have done with the correct injection of professional attitude from the developer at the right time, and seeing the potential in their own game at the right time. I think this could have been a big deal. Unfortunately, we're just a collection of 1,000 or so people on the internet that enjoy it for what it is. But we all know it could have been big. I think it could have been anyway.
Yeah, I think it could have been big, and let's hope that Code 3 finds its place among the stars. There's certainly room for it, especially with maybe the changing attitudes of the developers now, looking at this as a potential sport and the money that they can make off the back of that.
Well, let's hope so. We've certainly bloody... If they just take it and make it an esport off the back of our community, I hope they give us a nod at least for all the work we collectively have done. I'm not on about me, I'm on about me, you, all the players, all the refs, all the fans. We're basically keeping it alive collectively as a little ecosystem, aren't we? There's not many of us either.
No, there's not many of us, and we we keep it in the hearts and minds of people and players, and that's really important for them being able to get the word out against and make more money. So we're doing them a favour in the long run.
Yeah, I hope we just get a nod. That's all we need. Anyway, let's get back to this game at hand, because it's evolved a little bit since we last spoke. Jibber's putting the aggression still in. The M20's got on 2 kills only. We've got a nice flank coming in from the rifleman. We do have LMGs on 2 of the grenadiers. Meanwhile, Loveness is getting an MG finally. And, yeah, this game's ticking along nicely.
It is. We've got the double light vehicle build from Jibber, which he's... another build that he's sort of pioneered of going all in at some point with the vehicles to force the game to end early.
Look at this from Jibber. He's gone north. Loveness has kind of got the Pack 40 in position. He's got a Faust threatening. Can he get the kill on this 2-2? Yes, he can. Now it's all about evasion. Yes, he's going to get out of there. He's going to go the northern pass.
It looks like it. There is a Gren coming down from the north, and it looks like he's going to get the Faust off. But
oh no, he drives forward at the right moment. Can he get away? The Hunter's on. He's got to part the Red Sea of Faustingness. Oh, he gets hit by one. Is there enough? There's not enough munitions for a second. He could escape here, but the Pack's got him in his sights. He's got him in his sights for another kill. Oh dear.
That's so unlucky for Jibber, getting hit with a max range shot.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
We'll see what he can do. I mean, Jibber's still got the manpower and enough resources and map in his control to make a game of this, but he's also down on VPs, having given up maybe some VP control in order to get more kills.
I suppose the exciting thing is of the overall meta landscape of this tournament, Jibber, is Loveness looks on form today, Nagano looks on form today. We could have a hell of a final. And Qualies and Jibber have had excellent tournaments. They defeated Orange Pest and Inca Una respectively. So they're going to go home with some good Master League points and experience. But they're also going to feel the difference with elite level, seasoned veteran tournament players on form and them. Very good replays to analyse.
Yeah, and it's good opportunity for the players like Asher who have already qualified to be watching these and trying to get a feel for what the gameplay is going to be like when they come to the main event.
Yeah, main event. Oh my, that looked a lot worse than it did. The icon disappeared for a second. I thought we had a Coat 1-esque AT gun super kill or something.
No, but the cover's gone now for those riflemen, so they're going to have to go home.
Right, M20 goes in past the MG. Pack's under pressure, but he just turns around and gets a shot in. Just look at that perfect timing. Stewart pushes in. This is a brand new Stewart, of course. The MG's under duress and taken out. Is there anything there to take it? Yes, there are rifles. They need to get... Ah, they were off the mark. Gren's are going to get the MG back in no time.
HMG squad ready
Or that could have been a lost Gren squad if he managed to get one model off it.
Loveness gets away with it yet again. There's also a flank coming in. 2 Grenadiers. A's casting eyes have warmed up a little bit now. He's going to get around the backside of all of these units on their way home.
Yes, we could be seeing a repeat of the happenings in the north of the Double Faust.
Oh no, he's jumped out the Stewart. Jibber, you don't do this in tournaments, bro. Oh man. Well, you have to do it at some point. Oh no, we didn't actually. There we go. He's got a 50 cal to the rescue, but there was a Mega Faust. That could have been a lot worse.
It could have been. It could have been. Jibber certainly can't afford to lose another Stewart for nothing.
We spoke about this when I was casting with Ed yesterday. Notice that some of the less established tournament players, they do some bad habits from auto match. Jibber's used to being a dominant auto match player or being in really cool scrims against people where the pace isn't as fast and people aren't as aggressive. So he may get away with that in other scenarios, but you're not going to get away with that against a double world champion. You know, it's not going to happen.
No, certainly not. And there's a degree to which people really bring their A game in a tournament, and they start doing the tiny things that make a difference, which they might not bother with in an auto match game. Little things like making sure they mine sweep for a particular area when they move their light vehicles there is something you can easily overlook in an auto match when you really don't care.
Good news for Jibber though, he has been able to recapture 2 of the victory points here. The Stewart's going in and just doing a bit of harassment against the Grenadiers. M20 still being a nuisance, forcing away one of the 2 machine and Gewehr.
Yeah, so it's interesting from Loveness that he's effectively gone a pretty standard pretty standard Ost build, but just changed the order in which he gets the units, going for the Grenadiers first and the MGs after.
Maybe it's a Mill Road thing. Maybe it's just what he wants to do on this map.
The enemy is
I think so because the MG in the early game can be quite easily outflanked.
What do you think about the map pool now, Finn? We got Fame, Nexus, Mill Road, Amelie, and the other one, Crossroads. It's like I know they're not all perfect. I know they still need a bit of work and maybe different placements in the course of the series, but it very much feels like we've got our finishing stable. You know what I mean? This will see the tournaments seen through its last year, and it's not a bad little collection, is it?
No, I think it's certainly the best the map pool has been in a really, really long time. I think ever, in fact. Especially with the small changes that have been happening thanks to the diligent map makers. I think if people were going to carry on making maps, I think it'd be nice to see a few more Faymonville-esque maps with a bit more of a tight area. I think Crossroads and Nexus have quite a similar feel to them. It'd be good to get another Faymonville in there as well.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, if Amelie Roads was a bit shorter,
Yes.
it would be the best map. It is the best map, to be fair. But it would even be the betterest map of all time. Because just the channels to the middle are a little bit long at times, and also it gets a bit stagnant in the centre. I'm not suggesting we should do an Amelie rework. I just mean if you were to make a new map. We've got what Wolf did with Amelie. I'd like to see some work on that. M20's under pressure here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it hit a mine but didn't quite die.
No,
I'm not sure.
it was a Faust and a pack at the same time. The Faust, I think, came through the tree. It was an amazing Faust. Just had a decrewed 50 cal. We're also having this is white phosphorus. He's not getting that. Slows him down and forces him off.
Yeah, Jibber using the emergency repair on the engine with the 222 to... Sorry, not the 222, the M20 to get it out of there. Nice usage of the ability.
Clever. Hey, Jibber's having a better game this time. I know we've been a little bit lackadaisical in our casting this time because we got sucker punched by Loveness' superiority in game 1. But we should not sleep on Jibber. He's having a much better time of it this time.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I don't know what Jibber's plan is in the long run. Maybe he's thinking about getting a normal Sherman out first for those HE rounds, but he's going to have to contend against the Panzer IV about to come out. He's only got one AT gun.
And no Stuarts. The pack just took him out, careered into a haystack, and there's now not much left of him anymore. Did not need that to happen.
Oh, we've got a sneaky S-mine patch on the retreat path, but Loveness slightly miscalculates and the riflemen go the other way around the bush.
Yeah, I think he just didn't calculate the algorithm as well as he could. The base, entrance is not in a line with where the S-mine was, but it's a good idea. Clever. Cute.
Loveness using Jibber's own tactic of getting into that little house for some vision. Don't know whether he's taken that directly from Jibber or he knew about it himself, but certainly good to see it.
I think it's something he just learns from these whippersnappers, you know.
These young guys.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I'll do that too. One thing no one does that Loveness does all the time is the multiple tripwire flares. I just don't get why people don't abuse the crap out of that. He's been doing it for 5 years with great effect.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do use it. I think it's quite a big micro tax to wait for the units time to respawn and then putting another one down. But it's certainly something you've got to be doing all the time if you want to maximise your conscripts.
I think he just has the hotkeys on lock, doesn't he? For him, it's like second nature. He just.
Yeah, he probably has a script to do it for him.
Yes, I was just thinking we should investigate Loveness immediately, but the fact that he still uses TAC map 0 instead of rebinding it indicates to me he doesn't have any scripts whatsoever.
Yeah. I don't know how he does it. I've really got no idea how he does that.
Bridge just disassembled itself and fell into the sea. He was the only GCS2 player not to use a script, if I recall, actually. Yeah, I think that was right.
Really? Because I've got a TAC map bound to one of my mouse buttons because pressing numpad 0 is just ridiculous.
No, he presses well, as you all know. I've made people aware he presses it, because I find it one of the biggest curiosities in tournament history. Anyway, got a nice blob on retreat from Jibber here. He gets a bazooka round in on the Panzer IV. And, yeah, Panzer IV's forced off.
Looks like he's got the 18 aid now. Possibly? Yep. Hero throw through the building.
Wow, that was quite the distance for that throw.
Feel that baseball the Americans play.
Oh yeah, it was a curveball indeed. But he's got all these infantry squads grouped just to win in an engagement. And of course, you know the next point. Loveness has the northern victory point with an MG on lock. He's not lost a single victory point in this concerted period of Jibber aggression.
Yeah, that MG is starting to look pretty lonely now with the 222. Sorry, the M20 coming for it. Keep getting that wrong. Yeah. I think maybe we've seen a bit of a brain reset from Jibber. He's decided, okay, I can't take him on these individual sort of trade missions. I'll blob and I'll see what I can do with that.
Oh, he just ate a rifle nade. It was not pretty in the slightest. 50 cal will suppress those Grens. However, second Panzer IV on its way. Loveness with basically the most cookie cutter Wehrmacht build order of all time. But what isn't cookie cutter is his decision of commanders. It's basically a collection of munitions-based abilities. It's like a child made a commander. And what is Blitzkrieg Doctrine? It's just random. It's like a pickle mix, you know. It's just crazy. It's all over the place.
It certainly is. I mean, you've got the Command P4, which I'm not sure Loveness is going to go for this game, but it gives him a lot of additional support for his panzers in the form of the Panzer Tactician Smoke Burst. And when he finally gets through resources, you can pull in the Stuka Barrage Loiter attack.
Oh, the sheds! Oh, yes, it needs to be unoccupied. There we go, the riflemen get out of the way. The M1s are in position. Do we have a rifle nade threatening? Rifle's very low now. Panzer IV is very stationary, and it's dead. There we go. It's going to reverse away. Shed goes down. Panzer IV isn't, however. Just a really good kill for Loveness. M20 bravely goes into the 4. That's a bit foolish.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Jibber's being able to get an angle with his AT gun on that damaged P4, and Loveness is going to get away with it.
He's also now got a BAR on his LMG Grenadier, causing them to be a Terminator. That's game. It's just a newer player in chat was asking about Loveness's bulletins. We don't really comment on bulletins very much in tournaments because they're not that important, but he's got 5% faster cooldown between shots, which is basically one of the best bulletins you can use. Better DPS over time. Got major artillery on the house here. Panzer IV is going to be fine, just making sure we don't miss anything before we go back to bulletin talk. Faust range is a great one, isn't it?
It is certainly extremely good, because Grenadiers already have a really, really far Faust range, and that extra 7% actually does make a difference. So it's one of the only bulletins that you can get that actually, I'd say, is good. The other one, which Loveness doesn't have, is 50%, shout out to Borrow Badger here, 50% reduction on the build time of the pack.
Oh yes, he did mention that once to me. It is quite the nifty bulletin, definitely. So there are bulletins you can use that are good, but it's just 99% of them are rubbish. That's all it is.
Basically.
Oh, S-Mine just detonated and killed a rifle on retreat. That was cool.
Yeah, Loveness with the triple lockdown on the VPs. That 2 MG build, one for each VP, and then harass the one in the north. I think maybe... Sorry, carry on.
No, it's fine. Go on. Your point sounds better than mine.
I was just going to say, I think with Jibber moving himself into this sort of lower section of the map again and again, I think this is not the place to be fighting for the South player. I think that he should refocus on the north and play for the mid VP. Down here on the south is too easy to get bogged down in this sort of restricted area.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you're not wrong, but I just feel like defeated almost for Jibber. It's almost like he's been out-muscled, outclassed, and outplayed at every step of the way. And I'm really sad to say, but it's just the way it feels. You know, Loveness has dominated this series. He's only lost 13 victory points as Wehrmacht in this game, and yeah. It's very difficult to play USF without being psychotically aggressive and just going for the kill at all times. And I just feel as soon as they're being even somewhat defensive, indeed, it feels like the game's over, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, broadly speaking, there's two ways to play USF. You go balls to the wall aggression, and you basically hope for the best, or you decide to get every single piece of indirect fire you can possibly get your hands on, and you artillery them into the ground. And Jibber's kind of achieved neither. I think he's got one last chance with this, albeit already damaged, Sherman Easy 8. If he can utilise his AAT guns and the Sherman to get a kill on one of these Panzer IVs, he might be with a chance. With less than 100 victory points remaining, that's looking pretty slim.
Yeah, I mean, DevM wrote the rulebook on... oh, nice shot from the Panzer IV. Wrote the rulebook on how to win tournament games with USF, and he wrote it in early 2016 after his big OCF tournament win in 2015. His gift to the community, because he wasn't very popular at the time, because he came into the scene, won a huge tournament, and then people were like, "You cash grabbing bastard." So which he was, so it's fine. But he wrote a very good guide at the time. It was the rulebook on USF play. It was never don't be aggressive, just keep up the aggression, keep up the pressure. As soon as you lack pressure and aggression, you lose. And you need the light vehicle to follow on from one another. It needs to all be successful. You need to time your pushes with precision. And Jibber did try that in his credit. Just unfortunately, Love Nest had him covered, and his play was better, and he countered him. And then after that, go on. Sorry, Finn.
Yeah, well, just going to say that's where Love Nest's vast experience comes in, particularly because he's been playing against DevM since almost day one, and his aggressive playstyles, and at times when USF have been significantly more powerful than they are today. So you're really going up against it by trying to outplay Love Nest in a game he's played against the best player in the world. USF,
yes, exactly. I mean, we're both suggesting that USF are a one-trick kind of faction, a shock factor in tournaments. As the Easy 8 goes in, it puts smoke on the back. That was cute from Jibber. It actually hasn't got a penetration yet, though, on the Panzer IV. There we go, rear armour hit somehow.
Yeah, that was really unlucky for Jibber, actually. He had an 80 gun and his Easy 8 there, and 4 shots missed or bounced. Really
Panzer
pretty
IV's
hard
on the
done
rear
by.
side. Misses again somehow through the smoke.
Yeah, you're seeing the shots land directly inside the frame of Panzer IV, yet still somehow missing.
That's esports. Oh,
That's
Pack's lining up a shot. Burns up the Sherman. Panzer IV escapes. And this is why Love Nest has won so many bloody tournaments. Even if RNG doesn't go his way, he's got cover, he's got backup. He's prepared for RNG not to go his way. But the big story here is Jibber gave it a good try, and he's now got some excellent replays to analyse to help him push into this top level of play and to see what the missing difference is. GG, well played.
GG, well played. And he's got two more chances for another 2 tournaments coming up.
And the good news for him, it'll definitely Love Nest or Nagano will not be featured in those 2 tournaments, because we're going into the finals next, and it's going to feature those 2 players. Hello there and welcome to the grand final of the qualification event. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably one of the viewers that clicks in when they see the words grand final in the title. And to be honest, I don't begrudge you that. You do miss out on some amazing games, but you are always going to see amazing players in the video that you watch. And today we have two of the greatest Company Heroes players ever to play the damn game. And I've got a pretty decent Company Heroes player co-commentating with me today. Hi, Findeed.
Thank you for the introduction and the copious amounts of compliments you just gave me.
Did you just assign Love Nest and Naganos to you? But you can do, it's fine.
No. It's good to be in the cast with you today. And yeah, we're going to be seeing two of the Titans. Nico famously began his career as a 2v2 player and certainly did very, very well in that arena, and then transitioned over to being a 1v1 pro, and he's up against basically a 1v1 only player, Love Nest, who's got a lot of tournament wins under his belt.
He certainly has. And these are two Titans, of course, famously in the very first official World Championships tournament in 2019. They had an hellacious best of 5 back then. And I've got one question for you all in chat. We've had a whole weekend of amazing games. Are you ready for the finals that decides the qualifier? For the second qualifier now for the Championships 2022. Let's get some hype in chat. Let's see what you guys want to see. And I'll get 2 more comments. We've got let's go. What does I mean, Armand? Aye. Madden's going to shoot us if we don't start. Destruction. Go on, Slorge. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready, Finn. Let's do it.
We're ready. Let's do this.
Let's go. It's your boy Nagano. He's starting from the south of Faymanville. This guy must be sick of second place by this point now. And he's up against somebody that is very familiar with first place finishes. Who are we seeing in the north, Findeed?
We're seeing Love Nest, the famous German, who's about 9 foot tall. He's going to be coming into this match from the north with Soviets this time, and picking instantly airborne troop tactics, which gives him fantastic SVT rifles and Dushka-like machine guns dropped from the sky.
It does indeed. It's the commander he's using this tournament. He doesn't want 7-man conscripts. He's very, very fine with having conscripts that can kill people. That'll do him. Meanwhile, Nagano's MG and Pioneer combination goes north. There's conscripts ready to harass the fuel already. I said to chat earlier in the semi-finals he played versus Jibber. Love Nest has these incredibly precise engineered, he is German, build orders and strategies from the get-go on maps. And in this case, fuel harassment. Look how much of a time penalty that has been to the Russian already.
Exactly, and this MGE is going to be pretty useless against the conscripts in heavy cover unless he gets right up close. And that's going to force him to make other decisions which he might not want to make.
Might not indeed. Isilda, the reigning world champion, has asked for a prediction poll in chat. If somebody could make that happen, I'd love to see who chat thinks is going to win this best of 3 final. Conscripts and Pioneers now. They're finally going to be in a battle. There we go. Zane's done a poll. Conscripts coming in. And Love Nest is securing his own fuel in the southwest. So good work from the German, playing as the Soviets so far.
Yeah, that was a good counter to Love Nest's strong position there with the MG and the Pioneers coming in from the south, avoiding some of that period of fire. He'll now cap the point with the MG in the back whilst denying the heavy cover with the Pioneers.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
More conscripts at Love Nest's disposal, which is a very, very Soviet way of putting it, of course. And yes, we are indeed now finally having Nagano cap his own fuel. Faymanville's had a couple more changes based on player feedback. We just did away with the heavy cover in the end on this bit. Makes it really open for support weapon play in the late game. And also we made it so there's no fences over here anymore. So the eastern player doesn't get choked up trying to get out of this tiny gap in their base. So yeah, it's just basically quality of life stuff really, making the map more playable. And Findeed, there is an Easter egg on this map now. You're in the... you are aware of it? Have you seen it?
I've just spotted it now, so I knew that there was something in the south on the bridge, i.e. the demo charges, but I didn't know that there was a little bit of medical supplies at the bottom as well.
It's healing, yes, that's indeed. So if you want to get the healing, you can do. But if somebody spots you trying to get it, they may blow you up. That's K-Pen and I's little addition. People spotted it really quickly. It's quite a cute one, though, I thought.
Yeah, there's a good chance you get a unit stuck over there as well if you did go for them.
Yeah. I also thought you could have a crazy strat of putting a Katusha over there, then blowing up the entrance to it and making it a safe Katusha all game long. I'd love to see somebody try that. That would be hilarious.
I'd love to see it as well. But it looks like Loveness has no plans on doing that. He's moved south heavily to get his half of the map back, allowing Nagano the time to take back his fuel and take a position up in the centre.
It's a very strong position as well. He's got the MG coming in. The conscripts have to back away behind the heavy cover designed to allow the North player to fight for the centre. But look at Loveness capping. He's all over the bloody place. Look, it's like a horseshoe right now. He's encircling Nagano.
Exactly. He's using real-world German tactics against his austere player opponent and trying to envelop the enemy in a position where he cannot hold. Loveness has gone for 4 conscripts and 2 engineers, which is pretty standard for this build, but it is heavy on the manpower. Be interesting to see how Nagano responds.
Yeah, indeed. Flamethrower engineers erupt onto that MG. They do have Grens gunning them down. The MG's just going to stay still. That's just really cool from Nagano. He's not bothered. He knows the Grens probably catch up with this combat engineer eventually. He's just basically tanking the damage.
Yeah, the conscripts
flanking though.
They're certainly going to force the MG to replace, but not before they get the suppression out on one of the units, allowing these Grens a slightly easier time of this fight.
It's amazing, isn't it? Sometimes the winning move is to just stand still. And we saw that just now. Grens are going to get really hurt by that mine if they detonate it soon. Look at Loveness. He's so on form. Jibber Jabber Jobber, who was the semi-finalist against him, must be feeling like a sigh of relief. It's an on-form Loveness he came up against today. It's no shame to be manhandled by a player playing this well.
Exactly. I think maybe Loveness was put to shame by his 2-0 loss to Orange Pest. Or it was 2-1, I can't remember, but he lost to Orange Pest in the last qualification tournament. Maybe he's been practicing hard to try and redeem himself.
Certainly seems that way. The conscripts joining the fray. They've got the sandbags waiting for them now. And the fuel is still neutral. Nagano's had a really torrid time of things so far. 2-2's coming out of the liked mechanized. He does have bunker healing. But look at that tacticular map. Loveness is dominating right now.
He certainly is. And without something from Nagano soon, i.e. the 2-2-2, which needs to make a big impact, he's going to struggle for late game as the T70 is, well, he's nearly going to have it. He's only 10 fuel away, just needs a bit of manpower, and he'll have that T70 out to harass and attack.
Yeah, the good thing about Ost here, or Wehrmacht, whatever you want to call them, is in this very low death game for them. They've only lost 7 Soldaten. They can get the pack out, they can get second MG out. It's not the end of the world, basically.
Exactly, and this is certainly a good map for them to hunker in this bottom left section of the map and eke out a living, if you will, until they can get their powerful units out in the late game.
Grens 2-2-2, all taking good positions here, negating the directional cover of the conscripts, forcing them away. Meanwhile, we've got SVT cons erupting for Loveness in the north with flamethrower support. This MG best pack up because there will be a flank coming in on it soon. More SVTs arriving for Loveness, airdrop weapons, 60 munition ability. And we've also got the T70 building for the big German.
We have indeed. And no pack so far from Nico. Although no 50% build time. Obviously he's pretty confident in his ability to be able to get the pack out anyway. You can move that bulletin over to something else.
I will show this feature off in a second. The 2-2-2 pushes in. The SVTs do not have 18A, so this combat engineer is going to get forced away. Meanwhile, we've got engagements in the centre. Conscripts versus Grenadiers. And Gren caught out in the open versus SVT Rifles. Could not get the kill there on the retreating conscripts. So little pockets of fighting all over the bloody place, quite frankly.
Yeah, we've got action right the way across the line. We had a rifle nade go in the south against a conscript in heavy cover, which took out 4 men, resulting in a 1-man conscript retreating to base.
Well caught, indeed. Well caught. 2-man Grenadier forced away. But the big news is Nagano's back, baby. He's used the MG222 combo to really solidify his map control. Now we've got